Welcome back to episode 98 of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What up? What up?
What is up, dude? Bloody day today?
Yeah, man. I'm feeling peppy despite all the losses.
Yeah, I mean, you've been dealing with a bunch of stuff yourself, but everybody's dealing with some losses today.
Yeah, man. But this is part of it, dude. It feels like feels like action is happening, even though it's not good action.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I agree.
Regardless, it still feels like bullish activity overall. Like this dude, yeah, during a bull cycle, like these type of correction events like happen quite frequently, you know. It's just like you got to get used to this feeling of like pain.
Yeah.
It's just short-term pain.
Yeah.
But this one's kind of interesting, I guess. See, this is like part of the market phase that I've never experienced before. Like, like kind of like waiting for Bitcoin to do its thing, and then like the altcoin starting to emerge after that.
Yeah.
You know, like that happened prior to my entry in 2017, so I don't really know what this feels like. So it's a little weird and foreign, and I don't like it so far.
Yeah. So in 2017, I guess you got in as soon as everything was picking up.
Well, it was more like Bitcoin. I got in like after Bitcoin's like first like major sell-off, I think, and then like altcoins were picking up like major steam around that time.
Yeah.
So automatically, like I was just like had an affinity for altcoins. You know, that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, Bitcoin is always going to be king. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I always considered Bitcoin as like as a savings account. So you move all your profits into Bitcoin and then just hold on to it until like there's a huge run up. I mean, I even thought about that in 2017 when it was, close to 20K. Like when it's on its way up to 20K, I was like, man, I just better collect this and not really sell it or anything. Because at the time I didn't really recognize that there were cycles or a nonlinear regression curve or anything like that. So
that's right. I had to really freaking get it in your head. Dude.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is a bubble.
Yeah,
like,
you said, you were telling me that this is a bubble. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Bitcoin's like the second coming. And like, because I thought
you just thought it was going to be nonstop like upness.
No. What I thought you were saying in terms of a bubble was that Bitcoin was
babies?
like Bitcoin was not a real like solution, not a real technical innovation.
Oh, okay.
And then I was fighting you on that because it was, and but what you were talking about is just the bubble in the price.
Yeah, like I was trying to explain to you like that we're in the middle of one of these cycles that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
and we're about to enter our downward phase. So it's kind of like warning you. Like dude, stop buying this shit.
Yeah.
Like you got it a little too late, bruh.
Yeah.
You gotta wait for the next cycle, which we did.
Yeah, for sure.
And here we are, dude. We're at the beginning of it. So
yeah, and then after it popped, I just kept buying on the way down. Like I would buy at 16K, and then I would buy at 14K. And that's still at that time. I wasn't aware that there was like this cadence for Bitcoin. Yeah. And so, you start feeling that despair. I was like, man, this shit just keeps going down. And then you just stop buying, and then you like move on with like, with your other activities.
It's unfortunate, dude. Like those are the times you should be buying, but you've been beaten to a pulp where like it scares you away when you should be like at your most active, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's why they say, the bears is when you make the most money. And that's because people who have been around, that's when they buy, is during a bear cycle.
That's right. So right now is like perfect time for that. Well, everything's bloody.
Yeah.
Mostly in the altcoin realm. Like we know at some point the altcoins are going to reemerge in this market. We just know. There's no way Bitcoin just continues to run its way to 100K and just leaves alts behind.
No, absolutely.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, so the problem is that, if you're already in the market and you're like, you've already sort of maxed out how much money you're going to put in, this is a problem, right?
That's true.
Because all you're doing is waiting at this point instead of buying.
Yeah. So there's probably like some good like capital allocation strategies as far as like not going all in like at once.
Oh,
You know
for
what
sure.
I mean? So that way you could hedge yourself like in
And
situations
it's
like
tough
these.
because like the markets, they work at its own time scale. Like if you zoom out and you see, oh, well, there's a pattern in Bitcoin. Like, oh, okay, so I know that it's never going to touch 3,000 again. Like these things after the fact, but in real time, when you're looking at a $5,000 Bitcoin because of COVID, for example, it touched 4,000, and I remember looking at my phone. I was like, holy shit, are we going to keep going, or what's happening here?
Yeah, same.
And
I remember.
instead of, it's like, oh, this is a good buy. Like, let me just get in now.
Yeah.
And so in real time, it's very difficult to like disassociate yourself from the feeling of what's happening versus the opportunity of what's happening.
Yeah, dude. That's just your monkey brain fucking everything up. That's all it is, dude.
Exactly.
Like if we were like AI bots with all the pre-programmed knowledge we already have in our heads.
Yeah.
But without all the human emotion stuff, like we would have executed perfectly, like during this whole bear phase.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But it's the monkey side of your brain that fucks literally everything up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate.
It is, man. But these like emotions, man, they're fucking weird.
They suck, dude. But they're there for a reason. They're there because like your brain is telling you like danger is approaching, dude. You know what I mean? You're losing all your money. Like instinctively, dude, your brain's just like in red alert mode, dude. Like I need to get the fuck out of here, dude. This is like too much to handle. We're about to lose it all. We're gonna be fucking homeless.
Yeah.
You know it, you know?
Yeah.
And thoughts start conjuring up on their own in your head. I don't know. So it's like it's the equivalent of like seeing like a fucking giant elephant running at you in the wilds, right? Like your brain is just like sending off all these emotional chemicals in your brain.
Right.
So you react that way. It's just so like this chart we're looking at these are our modern day cheetahs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we gotta learn how to freaking navigate these cheetahs, dude.
Yeah.
To get better at this shit. You know what I mean?
See, but that's the problem is that you want to embrace the cheetah because that's when you make the most money.
Of course. Yeah, you want to kill the fucking buffalo, dude. Like you want.
Yeah, that's right. That's how that's how you feed the tribe.
Exactly. So you gotta learn the game. Like you gotta learn the hunt.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot. You start off like a noob. Do you remember that movie 300? Like that fucking Spartan with like fighting the wolf and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta start out like that, dude. Like get your ass kicked a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
But at some point, you're a fucking jacked, ripped Spartan warrior. You know what I mean? So at some point, you'll be a fucking.
If you're ripped if you've survived up to that point.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of people don't survive.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of people give up and they get scared. The cheetah scares them away, or they die.
So that brings up a good point right now. Let's look at the last 30 days of Ripple.
Yeah.
Or let's do 14 days. So we're looking at 53% loss in 2 weeks, dude. This is a mother of all cheetahs if there ever was one. Yeah,
if you're an XRP holder right now, like definitely those chemicals are ramping up.
They're firing up.
Yeah, you're not feeling good emotions right now if you're holding XRP, dude.
Yeah,
I feel for you guys.
37% just today, dude.
Yeah, man. Dude, there's a lot, and that's saying something too, because this isn't like some shitcoin rug pull, dude. This is like a top. Isn't this like top 3?
Well, it was top 3, now it's top 4.
Well, still, it's huge.
Yeah, Tether's beating it now.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
This is like the titan, one of the titans of this space.
Dude, I have a feeling that Tether's like the next BitConnect type of dump.
Oh man, dude, people have been saying that forever.
Yeah, I know.
That was supposed to be like the catalyst for the big, sell off. But I thought they've already gotten audited and shit.
No, they didn't.
No?
No, they didn't.
Okay, well, yeah, you're probably right. Whenever that audit comes, because see, this is what my big takeaway from like this whole Ripple debacle, which we'll explain here in a second if you don't already know. But to me, the big takeaway is like, dude, Ripple's been around for like 7 or 8 years, and it's just now starting to get some kind of government like attention.
Yeah,
like. Apparently, according to what you've been telling me, like Ripple has like some actual like
for sure,
ginormous institutional adoption.
Yeah.
And the government is just now starting to figure out like, yo, hold on a second, like we need to like sue these motherfuckers. Like they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So Yeah, man, the government moves at a super snail pace, basically. Like, holy crap, they're slow. Look at this
Yeah,
guy.
so what happened? So basically the reason why XRP is dumping is because the SEC is suing Ripple and two executives for selling
I
XRP.
have to say, this year's been interesting. The rise of digital payments.
XRP at 1.3 billion. Damn. So
Hold on.
two executives are also getting lawsuit
Okay.
for securities fraud. A 1.3 billion securities fraud. So this is interesting. EOS also got sued by the SEC, and they had like a $40 million fine.
Yeah, the 30 to 40 million or something was the outcome of that.
Yeah, after raising $4 billion,
That's correct.
which is what, 10,
That's
10%? Yeah, 10%. No, wait. No,
it's 1%.
1%, dude. Holy shit.
No, it was literally a slap on the wrist, dude. For like, dude, if you're EOS, totally worth.
Yeah. So, yeah, of
Totally,
course.
totally worth not registering the security and like siphoning $4 billion worth of value from the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Especially from China. Like
Yeah.
the Chinese bought up that EOS token like crazy. I remember, dude, during EOS's peak, like I was hearing stories of like in Korea, there's like lines. They have like these crypto machines where you could buy your EOS like just randomly.
Yeah.
And there's lines of people buying their EOS through these machines.
That's
like,
crazy.
It was that hectic. Like there was that much FOMO for
Yeah.
EOS, dude. Now look at it, dude.
Yeah, EOS. Yeah, that's that sucks, man. EOS had like a good design, but I don't. There's not too many people using it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the case for a lot of like the blockchain 3.0s, right? That of the time of that time, that
Of
era.
that time, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just you can't beat the network effect of Ethereum, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, you bring up a good point, man. Like EOS got sued because they also, but I don't know if what they did was fraud. I just think
EOS.
Yeah, I just think they got in trouble for like an unregistered security, which I don't think qualifies as fraud. I think when you do something as crazy as fraud, there's like some much more serious implications for that, I think, potentially. Like, I don't think any of the founders of EOS were like ever facing any kind of like potential.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no.
Imprisonment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, it's 24 million, dude.
Just even less.
Unregistered ICO.
Yeah. But so we really need to look into the details of this lawsuit once it happens, because maybe this is like something more projects are in violation of. You know what I mean?
For XRP?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's so difficult to distinguish a utility versus a security. I mean, there's this Howie test, and I just don't think it's clear enough, even though they say it's like that straightforward.
Yeah. Yeah, but the headline for the Ripple thing is they're saying fraud, dude. So like Ripple lied about something, I guess. And I wonder what it is.
So just to remind everyone what the Howie test is a test created by the Supreme Court for determining whether certain transactions qualify as investment contracts. If so, then under the Securities Act of 1933 and 1934, those transactions are considered securities and therefore subject to certain disclosures. So basically, if your token represents an equity share in something, then you have to disclose it to the SEC, which takes a lot of paperwork, formalities, you gotta get lawyers, all that stuff. And so nobody wants to do that, right? People just want to make tokens and represent a project, and that's it.
Yeah.
But that's not how this works.
Yeah, so automatically, like this is like this is why it's really important to understand like the ins and outs of what Ripple is being accused of, just so you could start setting like a framework of like now you can apply like new red flags to projects that you come across, especially like if they're US based, right? if any new project you see is like following any kind of trajectory that Ripple followed, then like, and especially if they're based in the US, you kind of like want to stay far away from them. You would think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's other discussions about XRP getting delisted, which
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think you're right, man. I think there's something bigger to this lawsuit that is not necessarily just the Howie Test implications. I think there's actual fraud.
Yeah.
Let me look at this fraud.
Okay. Maybe we should just watch this quick little 2-minute snippet.
Yeah, I just don't want to get hit by freaking YouTube.
Oh, that's right.
Because
That's right.
CNN is like, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so orchestrating securities fraud worth 1.3 billion. So yeah, I think it's really the chairman, so and the two executives, I guess, constituting some level of securities fraud, which is definitely unique compared to the other one. So the other one that I remember was SIA.
SIA.
Yeah. SEC lawsuit.
I don't remember this one. Holy
Yeah,
crap! Check
SIA
this
reaches 225,000 SEC settlement. So, okay, so here we're looking at Boston-based Nebulous, makers of the SIA network for decentralized data storage, has settled with the U.S. SEC over an unregistered security offering and conversion scheme.
Oh, okay, so this is like EOS then.
Yeah.
Look, just after block one, so it's like they kind of like went after like a nice little cluster of projects at the same time. But see, this to me, these are the slap in the wrist offenses. You know what I mean? Like you don't see fraud being thrown around in these cases.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is just like negligence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is not really criminal. It's just stupidity, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think when these founders were thinking up of a coin and a project and all that, they were thinking that, you know, this has to be registered with the SEC.
Yeah, because it was so early, right? And
yeah, because this is like pre-2017 stuff. Like the inception of these projects were pre-2017. So at that time, it was like still early. This was before, you know, governments were like were aware of what Bitcoin was.
I mean, it's the same thing of like what's going on today in DeFi. Like all these protocols that are being launched. There's a reason why most of them are anonymous.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, because now they kind of have like some precedent behind them. They're aware like the government's paying attention now.
Yeah,
and they know like these protocols they're building are like,
you know what they are,
heavily regulated territory.
Absolutely, yeah. They're called money services business.
Yeah.
So they have a distinction, a legal distinction of what these companies are supposed to be doing and registering and filing all these like public disclosures if you're a money services business, and it's really just to avoid money laundering.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a dilemma though. Like if you're like a developer in this blockchain space, because
this is the overhead that you want to avoid.
Well, it's that, but it's also just like the community at large is kind of like that's the kind of shit that they don't want to deal with. You know, like regulation. Like they want these protocols that are just truly decentralized and, you know, have no affiliation with any kind of like governing body or entity. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you as a developer, you're almost incentivized to kind of break the law. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way, because if you do like set up this nice, comfy like securitization, you know, and like you launch your product with alongside the government, kind of like remember what's it called, Polymath?
Yeah.
That STO platform. They're supposed to be the next big thing because they're the ones who are actually like figuring out how to create a platform like in conjunction with like, you know, government regulation.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
So supposedly that was supposed to be really big and valuable, but nah, that thing is not doing well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the things that are doing well are these rogue platforms that like, you know, the history or the founding of them are like shady as fuck. Nobody really knows who these people are.
Right.
You know, like this is the stuff that sells in this market. You know what I mean? But yeah, so fuck. Good luck to all of you guys, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
building these protocols. You know what I mean?
So what does it mean to be holding XRP at this point? Nobody knows. But I mean, if you want to talk about buying opportunities and staring that bull right in the face,
because you bring up good points. Before you started the podcast, and I wasn't really aware of it because I never really paid much attention to Ripple, but they have like huge partnerships, I guess, or adoption, right? Institutional adoption.
Yeah, if you look here, Santander is one that's from Mexico. I mean, they got several customers.
Yeah. So this has to like bring light to Santander then.
Yeah.
Now these guys are probably all gonna get audited. Whoever's been like working with Ripple or whatever.
Now Ripple has enough resources and funds to like do this legitly, so I'm pretty sure, like from the business standpoint and like business functionality, I think everything's like,
yeah, like this isn't gonna
like destroy their business.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like fundamentally, the utility of the XRP token is still there intact and it can't be taken away, right? Or can it? Because you're saying this is actually more centralized than what they lead to believe. So is this like, can the government seize whatever infrastructure like they've laid out for this XRP ecosystem? Or is this like, is it decentralized enough to where like the government really can't do shit about it? You know what I mean?
No, definitely not.
Is this like a Bitcoin? Imagine if Satoshi was getting sued. Like, okay, they could take Satoshi out of the picture, but does that mean the end of Bitcoin?
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not, right? So
is this the same situation? Probably not.
So they can, probably is what you're saying.
I mean, I've read their white paper, and there's a lot of elements in there that were centralized. Now, have they updated since then? I'm not too sure, but yeah, I think if they're connected to so many customers, large customers like Santander, that it's not a good thing that your platform is getting looked at by the SEC, and they're claiming that the CEO and a chairman are committed securities fraud because they did an unregistered securities offering to raise capital.
Okay. Well, at the worst, they'll probably lose a lot of this institutional adoption then you're talking about. Just out of pure, like, from a business perspective, you don't want to be aligned with something that's being sued, right?
Yeah.
I would
absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
So,
but lawsuits is like, I mean, that's common business strategy. But now a lawsuit from the SEC is different, though.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's battling it just off of that one quote I just picked up on. The SEC is fundamentally wrong as a matter of law and fact. Damn. Yeah. What a line.
Yeah, the SEC has permitted XRP to function as a currency for over 8 years. Damn,
8 years, dude.
2012?
Yeah.
And we question the motivation for bringing this action just days before the change in administration. Legitimate comment. Like, why now and not 6 years ago or 4 years ago?
So what the fuck? What do you think he means then? You think this is like some kind of flex?
Well, I saw his tweet. I think he made a tweet earlier, and he said that this is Donald Trump's last like tantrum.
Dude, no way. There's no way Donald Trump's last tantrum is at some like obscure crypto project.
Well, I don't want to say last tantrum, but it's like, I don't know. Maybe it has nothing to do with Donald Trump, but that's what the tweet said.
I know Steven Mnuchin, like he came out saying like a couple weeks ago that if you don't know who that is, that's the Treasury Secretary for the United States. Because like as soon as Trump's term ends, I think his does too, because he's appointed by Trump. So he's like, one of the last big things he wants to do before the end of his term is kind of like, start slapping these crypto projects for like shit they've been doing.
Yeah.
And they kind of like they've been getting away with and not getting so. I don't know. Yeah, I could see that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like the government just trying to save face. Like, look, we're doing something. We're actually addressing this sector that they probably have no idea. They have no understanding of. You know, honestly. But they have to find something to attack, right? Some kind of vector to point at. Like, look, we're actually regulating. We're doing our job, right? I don't know, man.
No, I agree. I mean,
I'm not trying to like save Ripple or anything. I have never bought Ripple. I'm not a Ripple fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to like defend them in any way. I don't know. Maybe what they did is actually some truly despicable shit, and they should get sued, and the whole thing should be burnt to the ground. Who knows? But
like here's
I
the tweet.
agree.
He
Timing
says,
is weird.
Yeah, I mean, today the SEC voted to attack crypto. And his final act is picking winners and trying to limit U.S. innovation in the crypto industry to BTC and ETH. We know crypto and blockchain technology aren't going anywhere. Ripple has and will continue to use XRP because of its best digital asset for payment speed, cost, and scalability.
And energy efficiency.
Yeah.
So just that line right away already tells me that this has to be a centralized product, just because you can't have all those things.
Yeah.
Without being centralized. That's literally the big trilemma right there, dude. So if he claims to have solved that, then this is a centralized product.
That's right. That's right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I guess I must have seen it in an article where it was talking about Trump or the administration or something like that.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. I don't know what to tell you, XRP fanboys, dude. I mean, I guess RIP.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in pepperonis, boys. Dude, that sucks, man. It sucks if you took a huge loss today, but the rest of us are fucking hurting with you, dude. So actually, yeah, fuck you guys, dude. You like you ruined the fun for the rest of us, man. Like we were doing so well, and then I'm pretty sure like this is what catalyzed the big market sell off for altcoins, because I think now people are. I mean, enough portion of the market is like speculating and panicking, like, oh shit, what else is about to get sued?
Yeah, you know? Right.
To where like now all the other assets are starting to sell off. So I don't know. But I guess like Bitcoin's untouchable, dude, because it's literally not moving. You know?
Yeah, it's a stable coin at this point.
Yeah, like I guess I don't know. Bitcoin can't be fucked with, dude.
Yeah, even Ethereum took a hit.
That small one. I'm okay with Ethereum's. That's a sensible loss. Like,
yeah,
8, you know, but
8%.
these other currencies are getting crushed right now. Anything greater than 20%, like that hurts.
Yeah, Chainlink.
Yeah, dude, Chainlink never sells off this hard, dude. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. Look over the 7 days, man. Most of these are 20%. Stellar's 30%.
Yeah.
Tezos.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Celsius has fucking crept its way into the top 25. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
I've been hearing about Celsius for so long, and I've never like looked into it. It's pretty much like Chainlink. It's same thing happened. Like so many people talked about Chainlink, but I never looked into it, and it just like snuck up behind me. You know,
yeah.
Celsius just did the same thing. I still haven't looked into it, but
yeah,
it doesn't matter. And at this point, what's the point, right? I missed the boat big time on that.
Yeah.
one.
Speaking of not sneaking up on us anymore, is the graph.
The graph, dude. This one too. I didn't hear anything about this until you brought it up.
Yeah. So it just launched. Let's see, the December 17th. So it launched December 17th.
Literally a few days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it? 6 days ago?
Something
it went
like
from let's say 10 cents all the way to 75 cents. I mean, so that's a pretty good run, and it's starting to correct, and it could be because of XRP or some other I don't know,
just healthy
reason.
Correction. Yeah.
So what the hell is this? So.
Yeah, the first thing, my first exposure to it is you coming out and saying that this thing off the rip had like 5 billion in trading volume or something like that.
Yeah.
Like day one.
Yeah,
like,
day
what?
one. No, day one had like 2 billion, and then the next day had 3 billion. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And so
I don't understand how that's possible, dude. I haven't even heard of it.
So I looked into it, and it's essentially a platform that takes data off the blockchain and allows developers to make sense of the data. So basically, it's an API platform that allows projects to get graphs, information off of the transactions that are occurring on a particular blockchain. And so what I'm guessing is I need to look a little bit further, but from a technical standpoint, I'm sure they had like these big, huge server systems looking in and evaluating blockchain information or blockchain transactions, and then putting it together into an API that developers can use to make sense of all the transactions that are occurring. So some of the big users are like Decentraland, right? Decentraland is using it. We got Synthetics using it, Uniswap, Oregon. So all the good graphs that you see on all these projects, they're likely using the graph to output this data.
So they've been using this technology?
Yeah, this thing has been around for a good minute. Now, I don't know how long they've been around, but they've been, I mean, a lot of projects have been using it for a while.
That's the GraphQL or something? Is that like the language of all this?
Where'd you see that?
I don't know. It's like on their Twitter tagline. Let's see if I can pull it up. But
yeah, and so the most notable thing is like, who's it backed by? Compound, DCG, CoinFund.
Indexing protocol for querying blockchain data with GraphQL.
Yeah, GraphQL is probably their API system that they use.
Okay. Well, that's crazy. So then what is this? Like a governance token they just decided to launch like after the fact or what?
I think they decided to launch after the fact. Security. No, let's look at their docs. I think I want to see. I remember token address. I wonder if they have a tokenomics somewhere around here. Let's go to their blog. That's not the blog.
Going into straight to their Discord. See all the memes.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Oh, this is a very nice blog.
Okay, announcing the graphs GRT sale and distribution.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, hold on. Let's look at that graph. The daily query volume.
So this is since January 1st all the way through September, and you just see a graph that goes from nothing to around 300 million in queries. So this is just showing like how many interactions are occurring on their platform.
So it's like going exponential, basically.
Yeah.
It's entering its exponential growth, which is good to see, you know.
Okay, so now here are the sale details. So
Okay.
October 22nd, 2020. So this is good information because I'm assuming they probably filed a securities information to the SEC.
Potentially. So the starting price is 3 cents per GRT.
Yeah.
And right now we're hovering around 40 cents. So it's already more than 10x its initial price, which is not the worst. Like there's still a lot of growth opportunity there.
Oh,
but...
for sure. Individual purchase caps were 1,000 to 5,000 per registrant.
Which is crazy. That means they must have had so many people because they raised over $12 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Hold on. Non-US participants only, of course.
Yeah.
No wonder I didn't hear about this, dude. Fucking A. So they had different phases, huh?
So this is day 1, October 23rd. Phase 3. Post-sale logistics. Token allocation. All right, here we go. So overall distribution, we're looking at community 35%, early backers 17%, backers at 17%, team and advisors 23%, edge and node 8%.
Damn, dude. Most of the tokens pretty much went to the backers and the team.
Yeah,
they're basically the investors. Yeah.
So, so
I still want to know like what's the actual purpose of this token? You know what I mean?
well, okay, so that's a good question. So let me jump into Reddit here. So this guy, I thought this guy really summed it up pretty nicely. So somebody asked about the graph launch and how many guys really know about what the graph is and what it does. And then so this guy, Cryptolipto, he says Chainlink is used to get real world data onto the blockchain, right? So we use oracles to get we use oracles to get information on the blockchain in a decentralized way, right? That's what Chainlink does. A blockchain, Ethereum is used to store the data immutably and always is accessible, right? That's what Ethereum does. And then third, the graph is used to get data off the blockchain and back into the real world where people can use that data to make decisions and actions off of it.
Wow. I wonder why Chainlink didn't service both ends of that.
Yeah, right?
I guess they didn't think that the second.
Well,
end of that
I mean, it's a whole it's an architecture design. I mean, you have to design a system to really go look at all the blockchains and all the data on the blockchain and make sense of it.
Okay. But either way, so this guy already, the reason why he started off with repeat after me, just to kind of get it in your head, like how important this is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Like it seems so simple, but like foundational.
Yeah.
Like it kind of blows my mind that it took this long for something like this to emerge, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
But apparently it's been around for a while, but I guess they're just now releasing the token.
Yeah, I mean, even we were using it. I mean, Corv was helping the Ethermon team collect how many people were holding land, and they queried the Graph's APIs to get a list of addresses who held land on a particular day.
So then anyone who potentially needs to do some kind of airdrop is going to use this.
Potentially,
basically.
yeah.
Because that's what that was. That was an airdrop, right?
That's right. That's right. And so even without like trying to make money off of investing in this token or whatever, like projects are starting to use this because this is, you know, one of the main sources to get data off of blockchain. Because I mean, you could query this using Decentraland smart contract, but it's probably not as digestible, and you probably have to parse it in many ways in order to actually extract that information.
Yeah. So like how accessible are these queries? Is it like something only like the developers? It's like a developer tool strictly?
It's a developer tool. Yeah.
Okay. So this isn't like something as like going to be as ubiquitous as like a Google, like a search engine type functionality.
Right? That's a good question.
Because it feels like something like the common man could easily interface with and like, oh shit, I want to see like how much money Will has lost in the market this year. Like I just want to query all, find hey, the graph, like instead of Google, it's like the graph. Tell me, like just ask it anything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, just like copy and paste my address on there, and then just to see like over 2019, he's lost 50%.
Exactly. Like it just processes all that data and spits it out to you instantly.
Yeah.
Or it's just you know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to grasp the actual true who's going to use this.
Yeah.
But even if it's just strictly for developers in its current version, that's still huge, right? Because that's the phase of where we are right now.
Yeah, exactly. Developers, because there's no common man looking for that information yet.
Yeah, there isn't. But this is the type of shit to where somebody's eventually going to build the applications to service the common man inquiries. Like, and they're going to use the graph.
That's right.
Like to get all that data for.
That's
basically.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. That's it, dude. This shit wins.
Yeah, I mean, you want to invest in tools, and I mean, this is like, this is a valuable tool. I mean, why not invest in the graph, like from a functional standpoint?
I agree, and if you can get it, like if by some fucking miracle this thing just the market continues to tank, like even now it's like a pretty decent price. You know? But Like I was tempted just without doing any due diligence or before hearing you explain what this is. I just heard so much hype about it, and it sounds like such an essential core piece of tech in this space. Is like, dude, after a 50% sell off, it's like, dude, how can I not jump on this? You know,
no, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, it's like looking at Chainlink in its heyday, and when it was like 3 cents, and not understanding the implications of having a decentralized way to get data outside of the blockchain into the blockchain.
Yeah.
So
yeah, somehow that
it's hard to really comprehend like how valuable that is, and so many people miss the whole Chainlink thing.
Yeah, like me included. It takes actually starting to develop in this space, I guess, to understand like the importance of these tools.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, and the fact that you know, Corv and Ethermon and all these like teams, they're just like starting to use it. That's like, wait a minute, do we really understand like what's going on here yet?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is like one to keep an eye on, and at 50% sell off, I mean, I don't know if there's ever been a better buying opportunity.
Yeah. So again, like we talked about at the start of the podcast, not saying go all in. You know, there's strategies to go ways about it. You know, you allocate your resources strategically. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Always give yourself outs in the event that this thing is 20 cents next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way you could cost average yourself in. So fuck it, dude. That's investment advice. Whatever, dude.
And on top of that, not going all in. Another thing that's been happening is the cartel of Yearn Finance is potentially going to grow one project bigger sometime soon. Who knows?
Potentially.
So what I'm talking about here is Inverse Finance. So this one's an interesting kind of development, how this occurred. So Inverse Finance is a project that allows someone to, let me just show Inverse Finance, allows someone to take their DAI, stake it into a protocol, and it will yield one of 3 tokens, at least for now. And these 3 tokens are Wi-Fi, WBTC, and ETH. And it has like a very basic interface, right? You can deposit here DAI. There's a 4 million cap here for WBTC. You can deposit DAI to yield Wi-Fi, and there's a cap of 4 million BTC, 4 million DAI. And then the other one is to yield ETH, and there's a cap of 3 million in this case, and that one's full. And the yield is 25% ETH, 3% Wi-Fi, and 3% WBTC. So the value here is that you're staking DAI to yield another token. So one of the things that the founder of the Inverse Finance was talking about is the ability to seize tokens from token holders. And why would you want to do that? And I think he's trying to limit what he calls free riders. And those free riders basically are speculators who don't really help a project grow, right? They just speculate on a token. And I remember you and I talk about how those speculators actually are a good thing.
Well, they're a good thing in the sense that they bring in value into the ecosystem, right? I guess money. But they're detrimental depending on, I guess, like in Decentraland's case, it's the speculative land investors are a huge detriment to the project.
Yeah.
You know, because they're just dead weight. They're just sitting there with untapped resources they have no intention to use, right? So it's just the ecosystem as a whole can't flourish until these dead cells, you know, come alive, basically.
That's right.
So I get that process. So yeah, these questions have been tossed around in the Decentraland community of like, what do you do about these dead landowners? You know, like should we incorporate some type of governing protocol where after X amount of time, if you're not doing any activity, you just leave your land dormant, the DAO seizes it? Like, is that a possibility? So
and it's up to it's up to the community to decide that. And so in the case of Inverse Finance, it's up to the community to decide whether we should seize tokens or not. And from the founder standpoint, He's not anonymous, by the way. He's known. He's been in Ethereum projects since I think 2015, and he's even had an interview with CoinDesk. And so, how did Inverse Finance like get on my radar? So,
yeah, good question.
this young man named Andre Cronje retweeted something from Noor. Noor is a developer of Inverse Finance.
Okay.
And so he was talking about the new DeFi Lego called Inverse Finance, and you deposit DAI, you earn ETH passively, powered by Yearn V2 vaults, guarded launch, capped at 240,000. So initially when he launched, that cap that you see here at 3 million for ETH was at $240,000, 240,000 DAI.
Yeah.
And
started out real slow.
And it quickly just like filled up like instantly in 8 minutes or something like that. And then he increased it to 3 million, and then he tweeted out that there was like, you know, a certain amount, like 1.5 million in the smart contract, and he wanted a hacker to go to potentially try to take it, and nobody did. And so then I think that's when Andre retweeted it, and here he is. Here's Andre's tweet, and then that's when it got on my radar, and I started investigating, and I put some DAI into the Wi-Fi yield, and then I started mining Wi-Fi tokens with the around 1,000 that I put in. So, so this is another. If we go back to Yearn here and we click on the Yearn ecosystem, I'm speculating that if Inverse Finance like gets a little bit more traction, I think it might join this Yearn cartel that we got going on here. And as you can see, in the last 7 days, everything has been hit by 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
So this is another opportunity, like, because we think DeFi is really gonna be the spearhead of this next bull run, and
100%.
And DeFi. I mean, this is like the embodiment of DeFi right here, what you're looking at in these like 8 protocols.
Yeah, at least like I don't know, they seem to be like the jocks of DeFi, you know, like they're forming their own little clique. That's what I call them. Like it's just the Andre cartel, man. Like and you got to keep an eye on this. I think we're going to do that from now on. Like every time we talk or record a podcast, I think that's going to become like our 2021 mission. Like we always got to check in on these guys, see what the fuck they're doing.
That's right. That's right.
You know? It just feels like they're the ones with the most like, I don't know, like hype potential, maybe. I'm not sure if that's the right word. It's just
it has the most moon potential,
I guess. But Andre, I mean, he's like a rock star of the group, right? Of the space. He's like the modern day what Vitalik was in 2017, I think.
Right.
You're gonna look at him next year as he's gonna be that figure, I think, or one of them. Maybe there'll be a few more.
Yeah, I think so too. So if you look at DeFi, obviously there's a ton of DeFi projects, but I think it's the Yearn cartel that's really going to have that explosive potential, and that's really why we're talking about it.
Yeah, that we could just see like every time they onboard like a new, I don't know, cartel member, it makes sense to kind of like break down and understand what it is that protocol does. Why do they feel the need to incorporate a new protocol? Like what is it servicing?
Yeah,
that the 8 that came before it did not.
Yeah,
you know. Now and then maybe you could start venturing outside of this cartel space and start looking at other up and coming emerging protocols. It's like, hey, this new protocol does something that the Yearn cartel doesn't do.
Yeah.
So you can maybe speculate like, hey, maybe one day it'll get picked up by the Yearn cartel. And hey, we know what happens when that happens. Like it's moon from there.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. Like you just.
Yeah. I mean, one that you caught early on too. One that I don't know that I paid attention as close as I should have is I think it launched early mid-November. Yeah. Mid-November. And it took a little dip to around $200 and it went all the way up to $1,400.
Yeah. So I got real lucky. Again, I caught one of these Andre tweets,
Yeah.
like around $400, and I rode all the way to around, pretty much the top, dude. So
Yeah.
I could not have played this one better.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Pat myself on the back.
Exactly.
So I'm happy about this one. But the thing I like most about it, now it brought my attention to this Yearn ecosystem that I think should be part of our main focus, like for the next year, just to see how it continues to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just want to take a look at the performance of all these tokens. So yeah, going in early on these tokens, like you'll see like a little spike and then a drop off. So this is like crazy speculative, but nonetheless, I think this is where a lot of the action happens. And a lot of people are paying attention to Andre's tweets. I mean, as soon as he retweeted it, the founder of Yearn Finance was like, he was like freaking out just because he was getting so much attention.
Yeah, of course.
So damn, I mean, look at this. The start of this was at 0.0008 in January 2020, and then it goes all the way to 4 cents. So
yeah,
looking at, I don't know, 1,000%.
Oh my goodness, dude. That's a little wild.
Yeah.
But regardless. So yeah, we'll be paying more attention to this. So did you pull your money out of Inverse?
I did. Yeah, so I pulled it out because the token that they're going to release eventually is non-tradable, and only initially. It's not tradable, and it's going to take a DAO vote in order to make it tradable.
I see.
Because he's taking a full decentralized approach where right off the bat, the protocol is going to be governed by the DAO, and so the community has to come together and like vote for what happens next.
Yeah, but why would the community not vote for that? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't vote for that.
I don't think they will, dude. I think it's almost a certainty. Like if you have a large weight in the DAO decision, most likely it's based on like your staking power. Then you're farming a shit ton of these tokens right now, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or are you not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're farming, you're farming a lot of these tokens for sure.
Okay, so then of course you're gonna fucking vote for these to become tradable because that's where the value comes from is the market, right?
Yeah.
So, dude, it's gonna happen. So I think you might have jumped the gun on exiting. You know what I mean?
It's not that. I mean, there's so many things that they have to do in order to make it tradable, and that's probably they're probably gonna have a bunch of people voting not to make it tradable.
I just don't understand who the hell would vote that way. Like, what's the pro of that?
I guess they really get to build a product based on the community, and it has like no influence on what the market is saying about their token.
Maybe they're just like they don't think the platform is like in a mature enough state or something like that for the token to become
I think
tradable.
So. I think so.
I guess that's potential, but I know how people think, and people think greed.
Yeah.
And so greed will overtake reasoning every day, any day. So the greedy decision would be get your token out there ASAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like we were talking about earlier, how it's the free riders or the speculators that really fund a project.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unfortunately what has to happen for many of these projects is that you have to have money in order to pay the bills.
Of course.
And I mean, inherently too, to continue working on a project, if you're not getting paid or you're not seeing some financial return on the time you're spending, you're less likely to continue spending more time on it, and that's natural.
True. But if Inverse is if they're building like a legitimate product with some some adoption as far as like LP, there's like a lot of liquidity providers onboarding onto this thing, and I kind of like that they're going this truly decentralized route. Like there's not many projects that a lot of them will just launch a governance token and not really do anything with it like meaningful. You know what I mean?
That's right.
The community never really has any like truly meaningful control over that protocol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every now and then they'll just throw out like some bullshit community initiative, and then let the community vote on that, and like, hey, look, decentralized, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And the other thing that I liked about Inverse Finance is that it's not an anonymous developer.
Yeah. So this is another one to keep your eye on for sure. I like it. I still don't 100% understand like the true value of the protocol, but I mean, it's DeFi, dude. Like, does that even really matter too much? What really matters is like how many people are providing liquidity in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 million locked in ETH. They have
check out their vaults. Can you see the vaults?
2 million. Yeah, we are looking at the vaults, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So they have 2 million in ETH, or 3 million in ETH, 2 million in Wi-Fi or WBTC, and then almost 2 million in Wi-Fi as well. So, okay. I mean, that's not nothing.
Mm-mm.
And so those people who are still in it are, are mining that token, right? They're part of the community. They're wanting to contribute to this whole growth of this project.
Yeah, totally. Fucking A, mate.
But yeah,
so that's Andre's influence of the week.
Yeah, right.
This week, so next week probably have something new to talk about as far as like what Andre is up to. You know, so I mean, I think that has to become like a regular part of our like week to week lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we have to stay up to date with what Andre's doing just because he's a market mover. You got to pay attention to that guy.
Yeah, and we've already seen, like, we missed out on, like, a few things. Like, the Keeper protocol was pretty interesting once we looked into that.
That's right.
You know, so I can only imagine, like, what else is being cooked up right now that we're missing out on. I'm sure there's so much, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
There's only so much time in the day, dude, to investigate these things.
Yeah.
But the graph's pretty interesting, man. I think that was a good find. The crazy thing is, like, it's already on Coinbase, isn't it?
Yeah, it's already on Coinbase. It's like it just launched a week ago. Like this is the time you should be paying attention to the graph, at least, as well as Inverse Finance and as well as this XRP like lawsuit. Like, I don't know if there's a coincidence that every token is going down. Because is it due to XRP's lawsuit? Who knows?
That's the only thing. Like, yeah, I would say like the market's just looking for like an excuse to correct, just because there's been so much like bullish activity.
Yeah, that's true.
Ever since when? Like, I don't know. I guess ever since COVID.
Ever since COVID.
Yeah, ever since that COVID drop off, there really hasn't been like a huge pause in like bullish, like.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like the V-shaped recovery hasn't really stopped since March. You know what I mean? We're like way past recovery. You know what I mean? Like everything's pretty much surpassed like what it was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, so I was just like.
But you know what? Bitcoin hasn't recovered though.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would say like that's what this is. It's just like the market's like looking for a scapegoat to come back to reality a little bit.
Initiate the pullback, yeah.
But that's not the case because Bitcoin is just still hovering like at all-time highs, dude. Like it's not phased by this one bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe it is more just like.
But you know what? It's the institutions that are buying Bitcoin right now. They don't care about Ripple. They don't care about what's going on in DeFi or altcoins. It's all institutions propping up, or at least helping Bitcoin survive this little dump.
Potentially.
Because, dude, nobody, I mean, if you know what you're doing, nobody's going to dump Bitcoin right now. There's no institutions that are going to short Bitcoin. That's crazy.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
And that's like the fear is that, everybody's expecting at least $100,000 Bitcoin. But then these the smart guys with all the money, they start dumping at around 80K.
Possibly, but like I said before, dude, like greed always trumps rationale. Like the rational thing would probably try to be be the first to exit and like secure your position.
Yeah. But
the greed will overtake. You'd be like, hold on, man, just wait a little bit longer, dude. Like we might actually be able to like extract a little bit more money out of these dumbasses.
Yeah.
Let them keep buying, and then we'll.
You know what? I bet you that's probably what's going to happen. I think at 80K, people are going to start exiting, and then it's going to take a dip, and then it's just going to go to like 120, and then
that's
it's when
going to get bought up.
Yeah,
by the greedy. And so like at some point, like Katy Perry's going to paint her nails again in cryptos, and it's all going to hit the fan from there, dude. Like something like that's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah,
looking forward to that day.
Yeah,
but,
man,
yeah,
we're counting down 12 months till then, right? If you're following the cycle.
Yeah, I guess how long have we been talking, dude? Like
exactly an hour.
Okay, well, I guess this is what are we at? I guess we'll probably record one more time before the end of the year.
Yeah,
probably will.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's been one ridiculous year.
Yeah,
like,
man, dude.
Already time to start thinking start recapping like what's happened this last year.
Let's recap it real quick. I mean, we started the year January 3rd with interviewing Andreas Antonopoulos. Can you believe that?
Wild. No, I can't believe that.
I can't believe it either.
Yeah, I never thought I would ever even communicate with that man.
Yeah.
Never thought that would be possible.
Yeah.
You know, but see, I remember after that interview, we're like, dude, the mission now is to get like more banger interviews like that. But we didn't stick on that path. Instead, we're in an alternate reality now where our focus is more on like developing in this space, not so business. Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually trying to build a business in this space now. We're not trying to just be like outside observers, which we were before this year. We were just outside observers.
That's right,
watching what everyone else is doing, you know what I mean? But I think the big takeaway from this year is we're actually like almost as balls deep as you can get into this space, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. So and then in February, Decentraland launched, which is when we launched MetaZone.io.
Yeah,
and and then 2 weeks later we got COVID, right? We got hit with COVID, and the markets dumped, and everything like Bitcoin dumped. It went from like 7,000 or 8,000 to 4,000. Decentraland Mana went to like 2 cents or something like that.
Pretty much everything was like 70% down across the board. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was definitely the biggest sell-off I've ever witnessed.
Yeah.
There was nothing in 2017 came close to that. It was insane.
Yeah.
And while that was happening, the fucking stock market was tanking at the same time.
Yeah.
It was hitting circuit breakers like in the pre-hours of market opening. Like that was insane. Like I couldn't believe what I was watching. I literally thought like the world was about to end.
Right.
I think everyone else did too. That's why that was happening. You know, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So here we are, like 8 months later?
Yeah, and then they opened the floodgates in terms of quantitative easing, and so that propped up all the stocks. We had billionaires making hundreds of billions of dollars this year.
True.
And we had I think this year's a year that Apple went from $1 trillion to $2 trillion.
Yeah.
And so
pretty much tech got stronger, brick and mortar got like the ass rape, basically. You know, which was inevitable. Like brick and mortar was going to lose inevitably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
COVID
just accelerated it.
Exactly. It just made the obvious, the obvious benefit of technology, like more obvious to everybody. Like now everybody knows like they should be doing their shopping through apps, not so much like going to the physical locations and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. And then Andrew Yang pretty soon, like in, I want to say January, February, like he announced that he was like stepping out or whatever. And man, I was like a dagger, man.
I remember that. Dude, we were riding that Andrew Yang train hard.
Yeah,
dude.
We were.
Dude, you still got those hats?
I still got them. Yeah, they're right here. Yeah.
Dude, bust it out, dude. I want to see that.
They're far away, but yeah, I still got them, man. I still rock them too. I don't care. I think Andrew Yang was the right man for the job, and I guess a lot of people didn't see that. So we're gonna see the ramifications.
We knew that was gonna happen, dude. That's just.
Oh yeah, but still, man, I had that hope.
Yeah, but hope is
a fool's game.
Yeah, hope is a lie, dude.
Yeah.
You just got to know, like, it's not gonna happen, man.
Yeah, I mean, everything he was saying was right. It's just people don't recognize it yet. So, but Andrew Yang is trying to become mayor of New York, by the way. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and now people are getting. Yeah, who would have thought like back then, like we would have 2 cycles of UBI basically.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah, we got UBIs like.
we got the first one, $1,200 a piece.
Yeah, which only helped for one month, and that was it. It was like evaporated.
Yeah, as soon as I got it, got siphoned away by like collectors. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But so potentially we might get another one here pretty soon. So that's another potential speculative catalyst for this market.
Yeah.
I don't think it really did much.
No, I
didn't. The first round didn't really do much to the crypto market. Nah. But this time around, there's a lot more bullish sentiment, and like people are starting to pay attention to crypto.
Yeah.
And they might naturally think like this is a good place to park my free money. Basically.
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Could be a nice little catalyst here coming up.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then the whole Donald Trump, then we had cops, the whole situation with cops killing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
riots, like mass rioting, like for the whole summer basically, 3 months nonstop, just rioting. Again, I thought the fucking world was gonna come to an end during that too. I thought civil war was like
on the brink. Yeah,
imminent, dude. Like I have my whole backyard is flooded with chickens now because of that shit, dude. Like, I was like, eventually there's gonna be no more like markets, like. You can't go buy your groceries anymore, so you better start raising your chickens now.
I mean, to a certain extent, that's what happened, right? You couldn't go to the store and find everything that you needed.
Couldn't. Yeah, the eggs were always gone for like a solid month. The meat, like, it was very limited protein selection, dude. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty rough for like a mad protein consumer like myself, And so now I got abundance of protein now.
So I'm thinking through everything, like the major milestones. Then we have Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, where he put in like almost $1 billion into Bitcoin. He converted his cash in USD into Bitcoin, and he's starting to tell everybody to do it, all the institutions. So I'm starting to see like maybe this next year we're going to see more institutions buying into Bitcoin, which will take it to the $100,000 to $200,000 range, and then I think the next cycle we're going to start seeing evidence of countries doing the same thing, which will take that to potentially 500 plus in that next cycle.
Oh yeah, totally, for sure.
So if there was ever a strategy to execute like on like a passive way, is just collect Bitcoins as much as you can, and just hold on to it. I mean, that's the one thing you don't want to sell.
That's always. Yeah, Bitcoin always rears its ugly head, dude. Like it always just shows up and is like
as the truth.
It makes you feel like shit for not believing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, always at some point it will do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at some point you gotta just believe. You gotta just surrender yourself to Satoshi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
just let it be. Dude.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and I guess
any other milestones that you can think of? Man, I know we're probably missing like an obvious one.
Oh, we missed a bunch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty much the biggest. So yeah, I guess leading into next year, definitely I think Decentraland development is only going to get crazier, I think, because I'm pretty sure the ecosystem will grow as time goes on. As more people get onboarded into this space, and like as NFTs continue to grow, which I don't see any signals of that stopping anytime soon.
Yeah,
it seems like every day NFT like awareness just continues to permeate. Like, it just gets stronger and stronger. You see like more ridiculous applications for NFT because really it's like boundless, right? You can NFT anything.
Yeah, pretty much. They're NFT tweets.
Yeah, what the fuck,
from
dude?
Cent,
Maddie sold a tweet for like $500, right. Or he didn't sell it, right?
Somebody
sold it.
Somebody bought it. I don't know how it works yet, but
who actually like did that? Not him,
Cent.
Right?
Well, not him. I think Cent is the platform that's doing it, and somebody has to decide to like want to purchase a tweet from your timeline.
So where's the money go?
I don't know.
I wonder if somebody just like screen grabbed Maddie's tweet is like $500 here, and somebody bought it, and that dude just ran with the money. That's so crazy.
No, I think you have to bid yourself. And like if somebody bids on it and is like, well, wait a minute, I want that tweet, and then you bid on it, and then it's like a whole battle.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that alone, I already hear people speculating like that's it. That's NFT bubble top, dude. Like you can't get any more ridiculous than that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you can. I'm sure people are gonna like NFT their sperm pretty soon.
Yeah.
You like bust a load and it's like, dude, this is load one of one. You know, like there's never gonna be another one like this, dude. You don't know. Einstein could be in this one, dude. I'm gonna freeze it and I'm gonna wrap it in an NFT.
Now that's a bubble, dude, for sure.
That's the top, dude.
That's the
As
top.
soon as you see that, exit all your NFT positions, dude.
Yeah.
It got a little too ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, man. So we're gonna see growth in all sectors, man. DeFi is gonna get fucking insane. So yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we have to do a spin for Decentraland, one of those wearables and all that stuff, but maybe not.
We should ask Oscar. He'll probably know.
Yeah, but we'll have to get together anyways after that.
So yeah. We got a big community event coming up in a few days, by the way, for you Decentraland hardcores.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Ethermon. I mean, they had an airdrop. It was immensely successful.
That's right. Dude.
What's interesting is the airdrop happened. Everybody got a free grass meta, and then there's an incentive to have more, so people bought more. So I mean, we're starting to see remnants of like sustainable gameplay in Decentraland for sure.
Yeah, and actually like development and deployment of like actual game content, which is to me is the runaway takeaway from what Ethermon is doing. Like I see like actual landowners being engaged with this, not just for one, it was great strategy on their end to like airdrop and get everyone's like peak interest, right? Like, hey, why am I getting this option to claim a free meta? Like, hey, what is a meta? It's like, oh, yeah, it's game content that I can deploy in my land. So like, what does this thing do? It's basically like a foundational groundwork for this game that's being built.
Yeah, now you're going to be able to find Ethermon just spawning all over Decentraland because of this airdrop.
Yeah,
and then I'm starting to see a lot of people really recognizing the value of MetaZone because it's so easy to deploy. It's so easy to grab content that people are making and deploy on your land, and then all of a sudden there's a game on your land. It increases the value of your land because there's activity on it. So people are starting to see the real value of MetaZone, and just wait till everything's a full NFT. I mean, that's going to bring a whole new levels of activity, and then the token too.
So for sure, that's going to be our main focus for 2021 too. Is actually bringing the blockchain value to all this game content, which is I know what everybody's really looking for.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Because we can produce as much content as we can as a community, but until it's just like that inverse finance protocol, they can mine as many tokens as they want, as a community. But until these become actual blockchain assets, they really don't mean anything.
That's right. That's right.
Same thing, man. So like right now, all you meta purchasers and farmers and creators, like you're farming in the early days before the platform becomes like legitimate bloblockchain assets.
That's right.
But all you early guys, you're gonna reap the biggest benefit for sure.
Right. That's
like
right.
I can almost guarantee that, you know.
That's true, man.
Especially with the token, because for sure, like once this token's out, the majority of you early active users are going to get allocated like the most amount of tokens.
That's right.
I mean?
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Because like we started this community, and it's kind of like up to us as the designers of this token to distribute the tokens, who we think should be rewarded with them. So of course it's going to be like all the early active,
it's going to be like a mining mechanic too. So it's going to reward everyone who's making content and purchasing and deploying that content.
Well, yeah, that's from the point of launch and beyond,
and
right?
beyond, for sure. Yeah. But that doesn't. So in other words, there's going to be an airdrop for all previous activity on the platform.
Yeah, just because it's important to keep mind of that for anyone who's losing like scope of like what the ultimate vision of the platform is, just because taking a little while for these NFTs to roll out, but there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yeah, but for sure.
And people are spending a lot of money on these assets, so they're not necessarily seeing the returns they hope for. But the vision is still intact for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, again, there's a lot of reasons for that, but part of those reasons that we have a single developer, and there's so many things to make sure to iron out, to make sure it functions like when rubber meets the road, right? Because you don't want to build these smart contracts and say, oh, we missed something. Oh, we missed affiliates. We missed the ability to pay out an extra person because there's a fourth party involved in the construction of a meta.
Yeah.
So all these things, like we gotta do it as quickly as we can in terms of MVP. Make sure that works. Make sure there's traction, and then build it into the smart contract. Because we don't want to do token swaps and all that stuff. Because token swaps, I mean, it's starting to get a bad connotation. There's so many like token swaps that are so malicious that it's starting to be associated with like dumps and like scams.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, no, and for sure, like as time goes along, I'm seeing like Oscar find more and more like functionalities for sure that we didn't identify like a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if we would have jumped the gun a couple months ago, we would have missed out on some like core functions to these smart contracts. So
absolutely,
but they're gonna come, so that's gonna be our main focus next year for sure. That along with like continuing to investigate into this DeFi space and like the NFT space. Just bring y'all as much info as we can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still like maintain our sanity through the whole process somehow.
Yeah, for real.
Because sometimes it gets a little hectic, dude. It gets a little dark.
Yeah.
Gets a little fucking, I don't know what the word is. It's just
it certainly gets tough because there's so many moving parts to what we're doing. Is we don't want to miss anything. And stuff gets missed. I mean, that's the truth.
Yeah, totally. But hopefully this COVID shit like chills out pretty soon. That way we could spend more time like building out our studio and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And actually like deliver some hardcore content like much more frequently. You know what I mean?
Right. So you'll probably see us before the end of the year, but I want to tell everybody, happy holidays. Stay safe. Put a mask on. Even if you don't think it's real, just put it on anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
There's new strains of this virus out there that's potentially worse than the original, the OG COVID.
Yeah, and even the current version, dude. Like my brother has it right now, him and his wife, and it does not look fun, dude. It looks like I had a phone call with him. Well, yeah, like his wife's been in bed for like a straight week, basically. Like she could barely stand up. Every time you stand up, it's like difficult.
Yeah.
Like you can hardly breathe. Like if that sounds like a fun time, then go ahead. Like
take that mask off.
Yeah, take off that mask, go to the club, do whatever you want, dude. But that is not cool, So
yeah. So yeah, we recommend keep that mask on, stay safe. And so you've been listening to The Block Runner. Make sure you follow us at The Block Runner on Twitter, at MetaZone.io as well. And hit us up if we got anything wrong in terms of Inverse, Finance, or XRP. The XRP shills want to correct us on anything, let us know.
If you still believe, definitely let us know.
Yeah, if you still believe, let us know. And tell us why you believe. I want to know why.
I do want to know why.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else you believe in, like with all your passion, also let us know what that thing is.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we need to know. We need to know what's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching on YouTube, and we'll see you in about a week.
Yep.
All right, guys.